Well, you are here. Welcome to the part 2 where the hard part begins. The scripts. I'm gonna to try to explain it as thoroughly as possible. As truly as I could. Okay? Now, first step. First step, we need to create our script folder and put some script into it. It's called game library, and we're gonna make it a singleton or auto load if you will. After you done with the adding the auto load, you add this two button into your input map. By the way, if you notice the difference on our script folder, don't worry about it. We'll get to it later. Alright, so now I'm gonna need you to create a new script called weapons or weapon and write all this script into it or copy paste it from the GitHub link, GitHub project. Do whatever you want, man. Alright, starting from the top. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna explain would be the class name, weapon. So class name is defining that this is a class. So this script could be accessed or inherited by anyone basically if it fits, but it's going to be used by our sword, dagger and staff since it's all a weapon. Okay, let's jump into parent node. Okay, the parent node here is not the one step parent. No, it's going to be either a player or enemy. Okay, so it's gonna be set manually on the script. Okay, it's not just the parent like you know what, never mind. Okay, now let's get into the ready function. Ready function first we'll do the apply modifier. I'm gonna explain it later, and it's gonna assign itself based on the hand position that given by the parent's node. Let's say we have a player and the player will create their weapon. After they create the weapon, they will give the value to the weapon and tell the weapon which hand it's on. So it's on main hand or it's on off hand. If it's on main hand, the trigger would be main attack button. And if it's on offhand, it would be the offhand attack button. Okay, moving on. If the weapon is enemy's weapon, it's belong to the enemy and its type is melee, like dagger or sword, we're gonna access our area 2D and set the collision mass into 64, which is going to be 7, the layer 7. And on the input event, it's just if we press the trigger, which change according to where it's belong. Is it main hand or offhand? It's gonna attack as long as it's not on cooldown. And on the process, if it's on cooldown, it's gonna start counting down. And oh, by the way, if the timer is 0, it's considered as false. So if it's not false, then it's true. So yeah, it's going to attack. Okay. Fuck. I'm gonna explain all this shit, man. Fuck. Alright. Bear with me, guys. I know I'm not good at explaining things, but I don't know. So if the weapon state is on attack, it's not going to process the animation if it's like walk or idle. Well, we don't have idle on this weapon, but if the player state is on walk, player anim state is equal to walk, then our weapon will be on walk. But if the weapon is currently attacking, it's not going to process all below this return. Okay, now the attack function, it's gonna reset the countdown timer, the cooldown timer or whatever, and put the weapon state into attack, so our animation doesn't get override by walk state. And we play our animation our attack animation, and we're gonna wait until the animation finish and then put the weapon state into not attacking, and that's it. And this function apply modifier, it's going to be used by player only, so our player would have 3 hero to choose, which is you already know, of course, and each of them have their unique attribute. So if it have cooldown reduce, it's going to reduce our cooldown, and if it have damage multiplier, it's gonna apply more damage, and so on. Okay, it's 5 minutes already. Shit, bro. Damn. Alright, now create a new script called sword.gd and put this script into it, and don't forget to attach it into our sword node. Okay, now I'm gonna explain what it does. Okay, first of all, it's going to identify itself as a weapon, the class that we made earlier. Yeah, and it's going to call its function called ready by typing super.ready. It's going to do all the ready from the weapon class and then add something like anim player equal animation player. Since our weapon class have variable called anim player, we gonna tell them that anim player is our sword animation player, and our weapon cooldown is 1 second, and that's it. On next function, on area to the body entered, it's just gonna make someone that colliding with our area 2D to take damage according to our weapons damage. That's it. Pretty simple. Same goes with the dagger. Okay, so ready function on fireball script. If the fireball is belong to the enemy, the speed would be slowed by half, and if the area 2D is valid, then we set the collision to 7 layer, which is 64 on bit. And on the process, if it just pretty simple. If the lifetime is reached, it's going to die. The fireball is going to die, and as long as it keeps on living, it's going to move on the same direction. And on the area to the body enter, yeah, it's the same as the sword and dagger. Okay, so now the staff script, it's a little bit different than the sword and dagger. So first we need to set the fireball scene, which is our fireball that we created before, and set the weapon type to staff so it doesn't try to access the area 2D on the weapons class. Okay, so now the attack function, it's going to call the weapons class attack function first, and then create or duplicate a new fireball by instantiating it, I guess. And the fireball damage is same as the our damage, our staff damage, our weapon class damage, and the direction will be on based on our base from the tip from our weapon, the base node and the tip node. Okay, so and the global position is the tip position, so it's going to start on the tip of the staff, and it's going to tell if it's enemy weapon or not, and that's it. And get 3 currency in a child new fireball. Okay, why we do this? Because if we don't do this, okay, so I'm gonna explain it first. Get 3 currency in a child. So we're gonna get our game 3 and then select our current scene, which going to be main scene, and add the fireball into the main scene, not inside the staff. So when the player moving or the staff is moving, the fireball doesn't doesn't get affected by our movement or staff movement, so it needs to be independent of our movement, so we put it into the main scene. Okay, since our movement only affect our player and staff. I hope that is clear. I don't know. I hope you get it, guys. Okay, so that concludes our second part, I guess. Okay, see you on the third. And on the third part, maybe the game is playable after this one. On the third part, I know you guys maybe are bored by now since you cannot play your game yet, but the next part will do it. Okay, later.